Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone is keeping safe and healthy during this time, and I will look forward to seeing you all back in school soon. This morning, we're going to learn about multiplication. We are going to be focusing on three things. The first thing is multiplication as repeated addition. The second thing is a function machine and what that is. And our third thing that we're going to look at is multiplication grids. So the very first thing we're going to revise is multiplication as repeated addition. For example, if we saw the sum 3 times 2, we're saying that we have the number 2 3 times. For example, here we have the number 2 once, here we have the number 2 twice, now we have the number 2 3 times. So it's just like saying 2 plus 2 plus 2. And we know that 2 plus 2 is 4, and 4 plus 2 is 6. So the answer to 3 times 2 would be 6, because it's saying we have the number 2 3 times. The next thing that we're going to look at is something new. It's called a function machine. Now, if something has a function, that means it has a job or a task to do. So it will change something. So we're going to draw our function machine in the middle of our board. Now, I'm going to put times 3 in our function machine. That means anything that goes into the function machine has to be multiplied by 3, and then it will come out the other side. What goes into the function machine is called our input. What comes out of our function machine is our output. So, on the left-hand side, we're going to pick a number to put in. So, I'm going to pick the number 5. So, the number 5 is going into our function machine. Now, when our number 5 comes back out of the function machine, it's not the number 5 anymore, because our function machine has done its job and it's multiplied the number 5 by 3. So it's saying we're having the number 5 3 times. So we've said 5 plus 5 plus 5. And we're saying that our answer is 15. So our input was 5. Our function, or what happened, was our number was multiplied by 3. And our output was 15. If we were going to write this as a sum, we would write 5 times 3 equals 15. Let's try another one. So, we're going to change the number in our function machine. So it used to multiply everything by 3. Now we're going to change our number to 5. So this time, the function of the function machine is to multiply the input by 5. So we're going to pick a number to put into the function machine. I'm going to pick the number 4. So the number 4 is the input. It's going into the function machine. Now, when it comes out the other side of the function machine, it's not going to be the number 4 anymore, because the function machine has done its job, and it's multiplied our number 4 by 5. So it said we've had the number 4 5 times. So we've said 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. But that would be very long to write out. So that's why we're saying 4 times 5. So what comes out of our function machine, or our output, is the number 20. And if we were going to write that as a sum, we would say 4 times 5 equals 20. So our input was the number 4, our function was times 5, and our output was the number 20. Now, the last thing that we are going to look at today is our multiplication grids. So, for example, we might have a box like this. And we'll do our multiply sign here. And we'll leave space for our number here. For example, if we saw something like 3 times 25, that's a very big number to be trying to multiply all in the one go. So what we're going to do is we're going to break our 25 up into its tens and its units. So we know our 25 is equals to 20 plus 5. We want to multiply our 25 by our number 3. So we put our 3 down here under the multiplication sign. Now, if we try and multiply 20 by 3, that could be a little bit tricky because it's still quite a big number. But as you learned on Sunday, when we're multiplying by tens, we can look at our 0 and we can ignore it for a minute and we can treat this as 2 times 3. Now that's quite simple. We know 2 times 3 is 6, and then all we need to do is remember to add our 0. So we have 20 times 3 is 60. Then we say 5 times 3 is 15. Then what we have to do is we have to add our two numbers together. So we would say 60 plus 15 equals, and we know that 60 plus 10 is 70, and 70 plus 5 is 75. So our answer is 75. And let's not forget to write our answer beside our question. So we can now see that 3 times 25 is 75. We had done some work with multiplication grids earlier on in the year. So we're really just practicing them now. But what we might look at now is something a little bit more challenging and tricky. So imagine we had a grid like this. And we had our multiplication sign here. And we have the number 10 here. And we have the number 5 here. Now here we have the number 30. And here we have the number 15. Okay? And up here we know that 10 and 5 is 15. We have our multiply sign. We can figure out our answer because 30 plus 15 is 45. So we have our answer here. So this time what we are trying to figure out is our function. So before in all of our questions, we knew our input and we knew our function and it was the output we are looking for. But now we're going to challenge ourselves a little bit and try and figure out what our function is. So have a think about it for a minute. What would we need to multiply 10 by to get 30? And what would we need to multiply 5 by to get 15? Good, I think you're all doing very good thinking, and hopefully we figured out it's the number 3. So if we multiplied 10 by 3, we would get 30. And if we multiplied 5 by 3, we would get 15. So we figured out that our function is 3. Let's try another one. So we're going to draw our grid. We have our multiplication sign. And we're going to say our number is, 35. Now, here we're going to have the number 210. And here we're going to have the number 35. So they're quite big numbers, okay? So we can see that our input is 35. We don't know our function, and we can see that our output is 210 plus 35, and we know that that is 245. So now we're trying to figure out our function. So let's ignore our zeros for a minute because they're quite big numbers to be looking at. 3 times something makes 21. 5 times something makes 35. I wonder, what could that number be? Hopefully we've all done a bit of thinking and figured out that our number is 7. So 3 times 7 is 21. So 30 times 7 is 210. And 5 times 7 is 35. So we know our function is 7. I hope this makes sense for everybody. There's also a multiplication PowerPoint uploaded, and there's a worksheet for you to complete. There are 2 extra worksheets. One is a multiplication wheel, and the other one is multiplication as repeated addition. And you can do both those worksheets too for extra practice if you like, but you don't need to upload them onto Dojo. Just upload the worksheet with the multiplication grids. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope this video helps you with your online learning, and I can't wait to see you guys all soon. Have a lovely day.